Hey everyone, welcome to another Kickass show online. We're on our episode 6. My name is Timmy Maligan. I'm the marketing manager of Harley Davidson of Cebu and Davao, and I'm your host for tonight because I don't have all our guests are very busy. So I can't ask Irene or Roy to host tonight because they're very busy tonight. So I'm the one that's hosting, so the show must go on. Our topic for today is actually conversations with the Global Harley Owners Group. So, moving forward, let me introduce to you guys our first guest. Let me introduce Mr. Ron Hill. He's from the Jarvso chapter. He's all the way from, let me introduce Rolf from Jarvso chapter from Sweden. I'm sorry, I was wrong about that. Hold on, let me put him in. Hi, Rolf. Welcome to the Kick-Ass Show Online Season 2. Can you introduce yourself to everyone and what your bike is?
Yeah, hi everyone. Rolf here from Jarvso chapter Sweden. I must say to Timmy, we have a sound issue. I could actually not hear what she said. But anyway, I'm happy to be on the show. Hey everybody in the Philippines, the Cebu and Davao chapters, our participants from India and United States, and the director from Cebu. Uh, I've been riding for 44 years.
Wow.
Started in 1976, and I started with I bought my first Harley Davidson in 2007. So I've been riding for a couple of years. Um, I ride a sidecar Road King with a sidecar, and I have a Evo 98 Heritage as well, a solo
Yeah,
riding.
the sidecar, right? That's pretty cool. I think it's like in the photos. Can you hear me properly?
Now I can hear you. Yes.
You can hear me
Um,
now.
Yeah, I've been riding sidecar also since 1983. I've had difference. I've been riding previously. I rode Goldwing 17 years, and I had sidecars on those bikes as well because of the children. And I have young children, and my two now 10 and 11. They've been to the Nordic Harley Davidson days in the Lofoten Islands in
Oh,
northern
that's
Norway with
cool.
me
You
in the
have Harley
sidecar.
Davidson there, so you're there.
Yeah, I bring them along to some of these Harley Davidson rallies that are suitable for children and families. Yeah.
Okay, hold that thought. I will introduce the other guest. So let me introduce Mr. Tonyray Oliveros from H.O.G Cebu chapter, Philippines.
Hi
Hi,
guys.
Tony. Please introduce
Hello.
yourself to everyone. Like, how long have you been riding? Like, what's your experience? What it's like to be part of the Harley Owners Group Cebu chapter?
Yeah. First of all, I'm Tonyray and from Cebu, Philippines. I would like to say hi to all the HOG members all over the world. And I've been riding since I was 13. So I've been to a different kinds of bikes, and for me, Harley is the ultimate. I mean, all the riders, not only me, but the riders that I've been with, they all say that Harley is the ultimate goal. When they have a Harley, when they can achieve that in life, then they will say they have already accomplished something. I've been that also I've been to those thoughts before. I had a Harley back with 2000, an old one, 2000 something, 2001 Sportster, and then it's very different from the Harleys today because it was, it can vibrate all over your nerves and bones. But then I thought I said to myself, this is it. I got it. I have accomplished my goal and my ambition to have a Harley in life, and then that's it. I'm done. So I sold my Harley before, but
Oh,
then
really?
there was there were there was a time that was 2 years ago that I've been wanting to ride a Harley again. So now I have two
Mm,
Harleys. One is a 48 that I have modified it myself, and a street bug 2018. And I'm happy with the Milwaukee 8 engine, very powerful. And
okay.
to you guys out
Okay.
there,
Oh, mm.
hope you can
Hold
experience
that
what we
thought.
have experienced. Yes, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Hold that thought. Let me introduce our other two guests. Okay, let me introduce Mr. Ron Hill. He's all the way from Fort, wait, am I right? Fort Lauderdale chapter in Florida, USA. Hi, Mr. Ron Hill. He's the
Hi.
chapter director. Please tell everyone about yourself.
Well, good evening, good afternoon. In my case, good morning. We haven't even had the sun come up yet out here. So, yeah, my name is Ron Hill again. I've been the director of the Fort Lauderdale chapter of H.O.G in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the United States for actually, let me start. I've been riding for quite some time, back since the early '90s, where I did ride sport bikes. And about 11 to 12 years ago, I bought my first Harley, joined
Wow.
the Harley owners group, and haven't looked back. I've been the assistant director of the chapter for about 3 years, and just recently, about 6 months ago, became the director of the chapter. And I actually ride a touring bike, the Ultra Limited, because I travel all over the United States. I average about 30,000 miles a year. I've gone from coast to coast because I just love riding, and the chapter that I'm in, that's what we do. We ride over 1 million miles a year every year as a chapter. So we're very active. We're lucky that we live in an area that we ride year round. Actually, right now it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's about 60 degrees outside without the sun being up. So that's who I am. We're from sunny South Florida, and we love to ride out here.
Nice. That's really nice to know. Okay, hold that thought. Let me introduce our last guest. Let me introduce Mr. Bikram Puri. He's the first regional director of Harley Owners Group in India. Hi, Sir Bikram. Welcome to the Kickass Show Online. We're so
Hi.
honored that you joined us. We've heard so many good things about you. Can you tell all our viewers right now about yourself, your riding experiences? Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone, and it's good to have friends here from Sweden, from the United States, from the Philippines, and thanks to H.O.G Cebu chapter for hosting the show. So thank you, Timmy, Irene, and your whole team. And first of all, I'd like to say congratulations. You guys recently completed 5 years of Harley Davidson Cebu, so that's nice to know. And yeah, I'll give you a little overview about myself. I live in Pune in India. That's pretty close to where Mumbai is. I'm not sure how many of you all outside India have actually visited us, but I live in Pune currently. I've been riding for more than 30 years, 33 to be precise, when I was
Wow.
started when I was 18. And I got my Harley Davidson in 2013. I ride a Heritage Softail Classic, and I have had a fantastic and privileged journey as a hog, and then as a hog officer. So in 2013 June is when I became a Harley owner. In 2014, I was the director for the capital chapter in New Delhi. I was based in New Delhi at that time, and then after that year, I had the privilege of being the first regional director for H.O.G for India for 3 years, 2015, 16, and 17. Uh, and thereafter, I've still been involved with the community. It's been a fantastic journey. We've ridden. I've ridden across the country, and India, of course, is a beautiful country. It's like many countries within countries. We've got different topography, different cultures, different weather, different terrains. So
Mhm.
it's a wonderful country to ride in, and we've had chapters all over the country. I've had the pleasure of riding to all the chapters, meeting the hogs, riding and parting with them, and also done some really long rides within India, and also we rode across in 2015 to cross the international border and to Bhutan. So yeah, that's a little bit of an introduction of myself, and I'll be happy to talk more later.
All right. Thank you for that, Mr. Bikram, Puri. Okay, so you guys wanna say hi to all your viewers out there? Okay, number one, I have a question. So, what's it like riding in your country? Like, I'm pretty sure you guys have ridden like around the world. Like, what's so good like riding in your own specific country, like in your area? Who wants to answer first? Maybe you can raise your hand. Okay, hold on. Let's go with Mr. Ron Hill. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Ron Hill.
Well, I would just say I like what I like about the United States is it's like they just said the topography changes no matter where you go. My area, I'm in about the most southern point of the United States you can get to. It's warm here every all the time. However, we have a lot of swampland out here. To me, it's beautiful, but that's all I see. And that's why I travel all over the country. I just came back from the West Coast around California where we have the mountains. We have a whole diverse culture out there of different people out there. And that's what I like. You know, I traveled I did that trip by myself. And that way I could stop. And when I stop, I talk to people, I meet people, and I stop at the different dealerships throughout the country. And it's just you meet the most interesting people. And like I said, I've just been blessed that I live in a country that has a climate that allows me to do this 12 months out the year. I lost your audio.
I'm sorry. Have you ridden in the Philippines?
No, actually, unfortunately I've never left the United States as far as my riding goes. I've left the country. I've been to other areas. I've always wanted to go to the Philippines, but never ridden there.
Ah, okay. All right. Who wants to answer this question? Who else? Okay, Mr. Bikram Puri. Okay, Sir Bikram. Hold on. Can you unmute yourself, please? Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So a little bit about riding in India. I spoke about it earlier, but like Ron said, in the US, he rides around, he visits dealerships, he meets people. I pretty much have been doing the same, and we've had the good fortune of being able to ride the entire year around. We have different climate in India. The weather is extreme and moderate. It all depends on where you're going. We have very chilly and cold weather towards the mountains, and then we've got terrain which includes the deserts, the plains, the coastal roads. So we can pretty much ride throughout the year. We do have monsoons which are heavy in some place, but we plan our rides accordingly. And the greatest thing is the diversity of culture, of cuisine, and meeting like-minded hogs across the country. We've had the good fortune of a lot of dealerships and touch points, and a lot of chapters who've been very active. So there is a lot of cross-chapter collaboration in that sense. A lot of riding together. We have 5 big hog rallies in India, starting with the India Hog Rally, northern, southern, eastern, western. So all of us ride 5 times a year to a particular place, which is all over the country, and many of the regular hogs, get together there, and it's a really good experience. As far as the challenges go, we have all types of roads. Some are really good, some are really challenging because there are a lot of potholes and bumps and speed breakers and various things. And in the cities, there's a lot of traffic, sometimes a little disorganized. But so you have a complete riding experience in India. You could have fantastic roads, and you could have challenges.
Bikram, I've heard that like it's so that India is a very nice country to ride. Although like hello, I'm not a rider, but based from like what I've heard, like India is a very good country to ride, like especially in the Himalayas. That's what I've heard. Am I right?
Yes, so we are blessed to have the Himalayan mountain range. Of course, it's mountainous terrain, so it's nice to to ride up there in the mountains. You've got twisty roads. Some terrains are challenging for Harley Davidsons, But by and large, pretty much can access a lot of points in and around the hills and the Himalayas, and beautiful areas around the coastal roads, through the deserts, of course, in the winter. So yes, you've heard right. It's a beautiful country. We can ride all year round and experience different roads and different cuisine and meeting different kinds of people all over with the same passion.
Amazing. That's really nice to hear. Like everyone here, like you guys all have the same passion of riding. That's really good. Okay, so maybe we can hear from Mr. Rolf from Sweden. Mr. Rolf, please go ahead. Share about your what it's like to be riding in Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden is a very nice country. Very good standard on the roads, especially the main roads. Uh, Sweden, the size of Sweden compared, like I just checked, we're on the Google here. The area of Philippines 300,000 square kilometers, and Sweden is 450,000 square kilometers. So it's slightly larger than the Philippines, but we have only 10 million people living in Sweden. So you can basically go a lot of places without seeing anyone, and we have a lot of wilderness and forest areas, lakes, especially in the northern part of Sweden. Then we have the climate, of course, the Arctic climate in the northern part where I live. So maybe we have 4 months of good riding conditions a year. Six. I mean, if you are tough, maybe you ride 6 or 7 months here. But it's cold. It's winter now here, so I prefer not to ride my bike this time of year. But we
Mm.
have so it's as I said, large country, long distances to go. I have 260 kilometers to ride to my dealer. The Jarvso dealer, has 4 sub-chapters after some rearrangements of the Harley Davidson dealerships. We are total amount of 11 chapters in Sweden, and the Jarvso chapter has just 70 members. And my sub-chapter, the Jämtland area, which is the county where I live in, has about 32 members. So we are not that many here. So basically, you can be by yourself if you like. Nobody will disturb you in Sweden if you want solitude and wilderness. Yeah.
Ah, okay. That would be so nice that someday, like some of our riders worldwide will be able to go to Sweden. So let me hear from Mr. Tony Ray. Mr. Tony Ray. Hi, Sir Tony Ray. What it like to be riding here
Hello.
in Cebu, Philippines? You should share it to everyone here. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. The roads here are not so. I should say not so nice. There are nice roads and there are different kinds of terrains. That's why it's a little bit challenging because when you the nice some of the provinces here in the Philippines have nice roads. So in order for us to ride far and experience those kinds of roads, we have to cross the sea. We have to bring our bikes to a boat and then continue the riding on the other side. And the challenge there is you don't know what's going to happen when the adventure that we are going to experience when you go to that side, the other side of the province, where there are challenges in the roads. Sometimes there are landslides, and then you don't know that there is a landslide. And then you go there. If you can cross, then you cross. But if not, then you have to find another route. Maybe you should try it sometime. Maybe next year you can come over and let's go and ride those different kinds of roads that we have here. We have so many roads here that we will enjoy riding far, like the roads in Davao, the roads in Manila, different kinds of provinces. But again, we are geographically, the location that we have is separated by water. So you cannot say a whole route of riding not to cross the sea. by boat, and that's another challenge also. So that's all I can say. It's very nice, the camaraderie, and there's this thing that even if we pass by a rider that is not within our a member, not a member of our group, we always ask them if they need help, and those kinds of experience that we have, so nice, very nice. And I hope you can come over and let's try to ride. Thank you, teams. You
Mute. Hold on. I'm on mute. Anyway, okay, yeah, it's nice because we have like an international event for next year, so it's nice that we can invite all other
yeah.
chapters. Right. So it's like this. I have a very personal question. Okay. So I'm not a rider. So how would you convince like women like me, especially women like me, young women like me, who aren't riders? How do you encourage them to ride a Harley? What does it feel like to ride a Harley? How do you convince them? What how is it different from all other bike brands? Why Harley? Who can answer that for me? Maybe raise your hand. Okay, Mr. Ron Hill, hold on. Hi, Sir Ron. Okay, go ahead.
Well, actually, that's a pretty easy question for me to answer, at least, because again, I came from riding metric bikes. I had a Kawasaki was my first, and then a Honda. Now I went to Harley. The way to get people on Harleys is and Harley Davidson came up with this idea 37 years ago. It's the family. You don't have I don't know about in the other, around the world, but in the United States there is no other motorcycle manufacturer that has anything like the H.O.G group. These people come into our now. Granted, we're a large chapter. We have almost 500 members in our chapter.
Yeah.
And when people come into our dealership, they see what we are, and they get sucked in to the family aspect of it. There is nothing that one member won't do for another one, and that's both men and women. The ladies come in here. We have a large ladies of Harley group in our chapter,
Wow.
and when they come in, we make sure we tell them right off the, in reality, what we call ourselves, we're an eating club with a riding disorder, because all of our rides go to restaurants anyway, and that's how we tell people. It's a fun atmosphere that we create. And we don't discriminate on anything. We have every race, creed, religion, sex, everything in our chapter, and we treat everybody the same. So trying to convince women or anybody to buy a Harley Davidson and get into this lifestyle, it's out here, it's really quite easy because they see the family atmosphere that we offer everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Like Harley Davidson is a lifestyle. It's not just about the bike. It's about the totality of it. We have good general
It's a
merchandise
lifestyle.
content. Yeah, exactly. That's how it is.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Harley
who else can
Davidson
answer?
it's a lifestyle.
Who else can answer me that question? Maybe raise your hand. Okay, Mr. Bikram Puri, hold on, I'll unmute you. Okay, maybe unmute yourself. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
hi. Well, as far as getting ladies, encouraging ladies to ride
Yeah.
Harleys, I think unlike the US, which has been the home market for Harley Davidson, in India, Harley Davidson's had quite a remarkable journey. They came in. They've been in India for 10 years. We also have, over time increased the number of chapters and the number of chapter members, and to increase the family, a lot of associate members as well. So a lot of the rides, events, rallies are positioned as family events, where even if a family, a wife does not want to get onto the motorcycle and ride pillion, they can fly in, but be a part of the community. Once you have spent time, once you've been welcomed into the family, then the lifestyle kind of sinks in, and once that bug bites you, it's there forever. What we've done in India is, of course, every local chapter has had a ladies of Harley officer, and there has been some local activities. But during my time as regional director, we introduced a nationwide kind of special chapter, which was not linked to a dealership, but it is our Ladies of Harley chapter of India. So in the Ladies of Harley chapter of India, they did a lot of rides, a lot of events. They took up charitable causes like supporting breast cancer, etc., awareness, etc. And they built a little cult within the cult of H.O.G. So the Ladies of Harley became well known. We have some amazing riders here who've done some serious riding, clocked a lot of miles. We've through this Ladies of Harley movement that we initiated and put a special effort into pushing. We've had many wives and girlfriends who were otherwise on the pillion. We've had them getting onto the seat and riding the motorcycle. So that is something we've seen increasing a lot here. And yeah, I mean, for us, it's been a much shorter journey than the US, but things are really good. I mean, in 10 years, I think we've achieved a lot, and H.O.G. and Ladies of Harley, like I said, has become a cult which attracts a lot of non-Harley riders also to want to be part of this family.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying actually to grow like the Harley lady riders around the Philippines. We have a few, but actually it's slowly growing. So it's good. It's nice that we're trying to increase the number of riders. And the good thing about Harley Owners Group is that it's a family. It's so good to be part of this kind of community because it's growing actually around the world. So yeah. So what about you, Sir Rolf? How's the situation of Harley lady riders there in Sweden? Maybe you can talk more about it.
Yeah, Sweden, being a very emancipated country, meaning that women would rather prefer to be riders opposed to being pillions. But Harley Davidsons are even in Sweden, they are more expensive than the Japanese bikes. So that's of course an issue. And even though Harley Davidsons in Sweden are cheaper than in the Philippines, it's still a question of economy. But we do have a lot of riders, and then there's a question of the size of the bike. And now you have starter bikes, like the new street 50s. So I've seen that a few women will choose the smaller Harley Davidsons due to their body size. And also we have the trikes. So we've noticed that a lot of women are choosing the trikes, the freewheelers. And in Sweden, you can drive the trike on a car license, so you don't need a motorcycle license to drive a trike. But they are still members of the Harley Davidson family and the chapters and enjoying the same family life, so to speak. So it's interesting. This I feel that the Harley Davidson family is more diverse and is warmer than some other motorcycle groups, I would say. I've actually been a Scandinavian director for the Golden Road Riders Association, which is a private, similar to H.O.G actually, but it's a privately run, and that was actually the biggest sorrow for Honda, that they couldn't make what Harley Davidson did with H.O.G because it had already been done privately. Like with the Golden Road Riders, but still, it was nice there, of course, because motorcyclists doesn't matter actually what you ride. Motorcyclists are nice people in general, but still, I don't know. I can't explain why, but I feel it's different. The family of Harley Davidson, the bikes are different. Not in. I mean, not better technically than many other bikes, but still, it's different, So that's why of course, if I could afford, I would have other brands too. But I'll stick to Harley now. Yeah, I have the sidecar and I have the Heritage, so I'm fine actually. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's nice. That's nice. You have the heritage, and then you have two bikes, and then you have a sidecar. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead with Mr. Tony Ray Oliveros. How would you
Yeah.
convince me to ride a Harley?
Well, I second to that. The family, as a family, as the camaraderie between Hug members is really different. I ride different kinds of motorcycles as to now. Also, I ride a BMW, KTM. There are also groups out there that I am a member of, but it's really different. Different. The family like organization like this, you feel like you belong to a family. And then when you're riding a Harley, it also feels different. When I ride my other bikes and with other groups, it's
Yeah.
there's something different between no between the two groups. Here, ours is like we are one, and then we understand easily to each other. Maybe that's one thing that we will sell to. I mean, to convince a girl, a woman who does not ride a motorcycle. But then if it's different also if you convince a guy or a rider, because when you ride a Harley, it feels really different. I agree with you guys that you cannot explain why it does not run very fast, like faster than the other bikes. But when you ride the Harley and with other bikes, other brands on the side, um, you feel like a king, like you're something higher than them.
Like
Not
a
not
king,
not
huh?
to
Like a king.
discriminate. I mean, not to
Yeah.
discriminate, but this is just how you feel. Like, oh, I'm great. My bike is better than yours. That is just me. I don't know with the others. That is just me. And then most of the bikers that I know, they also have this ambition in life to ride a Harley, to have a Harley someday. And I feel that before also. So there's something really in Harley that's we cannot explain. So hope that will also be the feeling of the coming, what's that again? The Pan Am and all. I believe some of you guys have that already in your dealership. But for us, we are still going to wait for next year. So that's it. It's really the different.
Let's not talk about that yet. We will wait for other information.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I just touch a
Anyway,
little with that one. Yeah. Okay.
no, we can't say anything yet. We'll wait. Anyway, okay. So I have another question. How has Harley Davidson changed your lives? Who wants to answer that first? How has Harley Davidson changed your life? Who wants to answer first? Raise your hand. Can you guys hear me? You guys are okay. Let's go with Mr. Bikram Puri first. Okay, Sir Bikram, unmute yourself. Okay, how has Harley Davidson changed your life?
Yes,
Tell everyone.
Harley. Harley Davidson has changed my life pretty much in
Wow.
many ways. It's now become an integral part of my lifestyle and my family. Yeah, the best thing about it, of course, besides the riding experiences, I mean, the pleasure one gets out of riding a Harley Davidson is riding, along with the community, and a community which really cares for each other, which looks out for people, which never leaves anybody behind. You're part of a big family. And besides that, it's brought about a tremendous lifestyle changes in the sense that, of course, one has ended up buying a lot of Harley merchandise and memorabilia and what have you. I recently got a beagle puppy. He's now about 9 months old, but I named him Ali. His name is Ali.
Wow, that's so
Ali,
cute. I have a
Ali's
granddaughter that's named
if you
Harley.
visit my home, you'll see a lot of Harley Davidson signage, probably more than some of the dealerships we have in India. But yeah, I mean, it's really changed my life. The best thing about it is the bonds, the relationship, that have been created over time through the H.O.G community. Like I said, I've ridden all over. I've interacted with chapters all over the country. And I can proudly say I have a brother or a sister in every town in India, and many more in the bigger places. And these are people who you really connect with, who you can go and stay with, who will help you anytime. And it's a fantastic. It has been totally a life-changing experience, and I've also had the good fortune of working directly with the company when I was the first regional director. I had a contract with Harley Davidson India, so I was representing them out there in the community, and it's for me has been a really life-changing experience. The two special chapters I created during my time as regional director was the Ladies of Harley of India and the Armed Forces chapter of India. So we have members from the armed forces, and we give them a separate recognition with a separate chapter. So I'm still involved in those chapters as well. And yeah, I mean, I could go on and on, but I better leave it to Ron and the others. It's truly changed my life.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Bikram. Seems like you have a question on YouTube. A question for Bikram Puri. Hold up thought. How did you get the position of regional director for the whole of India, and what are the challenges that came with the position? I think this is Irene Ngoshok. She's actually the local chapter manager of H.O.G, Cebu and Davao chapter. Can you answer that before we proceed with the all other questions? Before we proceed with the answers of the all other guests, okay? Please answer, Sir Bikram.
Yeah, sure. So I was like I said earlier, I was the director of the capital chapter in New Delhi. That's where I got my motorcycle and started riding. So I became the director of that chapter in 2014. And towards the end of 2014, Harley Davidson had put out, Harley Davidson India had pretty much put out an advertisement of sorts, requesting H.O.Gs to those interested to apply for the position of regional director. It's a position I believe Harley Davidson introduces in their mature markets across the country. You have regional directors for H.O.G in many countries, and that's a time. By then, they had spent 5 years in the country. So there was a selection process which was based on your your passion, your commitment, and your service to the H.O.G community. So it was not that I was in charge of all of India in the first for the first appointments. They were for 3 years, and there were 3 of us. So there were 2 colleagues, 2 brothers of mine, and Salamat Sharif from Bangalore, and Sorin Shah from Ahmedabad, and myself. And 3 of us were tasked with the responsibility of being the regional directors for India. So we looked after different chapters in different areas and different zones, and we were the intermediary between the chapter and the motor company. So we mentored newer chapters, we assisted the older chapters, we tried to create a lot of activity around around riding. So we have like most chapters do, we have Sunday rides, we have overnighters, we have bike nights, a lot of charity events, etc. So it's not that and then thereafter, after about 3-year term, there have been other regional directors who are serving. So now we have regional directors for the north, south, east, and west. There are 4 of them. So that's how it works in India.
Okay, thank you, Sir Bikram. Okay, all others. How has Harley Davidson changed your life? Who wants to? I think it was Mr. Ron Hill who raised his hand earlier. Okay. So Ron, please share your answer.
Well, I can honestly say Harley Davidson has changed my life. Going back to what they said earlier, there's Harley Davidson and then there's everybody else, because there's nothing like it. And I got to say, again, it's the family atmosphere that you get with Harley. I started out, on my first bike was a Ninja. I did the whole crotch rocket thing, and it just wasn't me. And then I laid off from motorcycles for probably about 15 years. And I was the typical guy that went to work, came home, did the family life. And then I bought a Harley Davidson, and it's just like everything changed. We do things out here, and I'll give you a little story about what I mean about the family. And I don't know if they have it in other countries. In the United States, H.O.G came up 3 years ago in 2018. They came up with something called the Ride 365 Challenge. basically we have almost 500 chapters in the United States, and it's every chapter competing against everybody else, each chapter for who rides the most miles. Well, the first year we came in second place in the country, barely lost it. We lost by 11,000 miles, but as a chapter we rode 1.6 million. Last year we won it. We rode the most out of any chapter in the country. Again, we rode 1.8 million. It was a lot of it was going against a chapter out in California. And where I'm going with this is I had a family member that lives in California that had a hardship. I reached out to the Orange Coast chapter in California. Never met them before in my life. We just competed against each other. They're almost 3,000 miles away. They stepped up and took care of my mother who had an incident. And I mean, what other motorcycle company do you have a family like that? It just really blew me away. And quite honestly, that's my lifestyle now. I will do anything that anybody needs. And that's not just my chapter. We have members from chapters all around the country that fly down to Fort Lauderdale, and we welcome them in. They're family. I don't care if they're from California, New York, wherever. They're family. And that's how it changed my life. It just opened up my eyes and to see that accept people for who they are. It's a great group of people, and I think it made me a better person out of it by purchasing my Harley. And honestly, I will never get rid of my Harley Davidson. Did we lose our host?
Yeah. No, we lost the host. Are we muted?
No, I can hear you.
Well, until she
Okay.
comes back, let me ask you. You just heard me talk about this thing, Ride 365. Do they have that in any other countries that you've heard of, or is that just a United States thing?
In India, we have a lot of challenges which are put out to the hub community. So they
Yes, go ahead.
yeah, okay. So the riding challenges for the community in India include something called 2021 365, which is basically visiting 21 dealerships within a year. Like I said earlier, we have 5 big hog rallies: India Hog Rally, Northern, Southern, Eastern, and Western. So there's something. There's a challenge called the Big Five, where every year if you ride to all the 5 rallies, that's called the Big Five. If you do that thrice in a row, it's called the Triple Five. And then we have other challenges which are more individual based. People who complete 100,000 kilometers. There's a 100K club, etc. But yes, there is a lot of encouragement by the company to encourage a lot of riding and miles across the country. We have these challenges that are very, very actively participated in, and people very proudly wear their medals and badges they earn through these riding experiences.
That's really nice. That's really nice. Anyway, hold on. There's a question on YouTube again. It's from, of course, Miss Irene. This question is for, it's Tonyray Oliveros. It's not Mendoza. Anyway.
How come I am Mendoza now?
I know. Okay, hold on. You have been riding big bikes from different brands. What makes Harley different for you? Okay, please answer that. I think all the other guests can answer this, but let's go ahead first with Mr. Tonyray. Please answer.
Yeah, as I have mentioned before, it's different when you ride a Harley. The way it handles, the way you handle the bike, it's the vibration that was supposed to be the signature of Harley, but it's trying to go away now on the latest model. They are more calm and not so as harsh as before, which the number one, I think that's the signature that we are going to look for a Harley. If you ride a Harley, you feel that. It's a different bike. It's you think that it's wild and very intimidating. In, yeah, but then when you ride a Harley and get used to it, you are going to look for the riding experience that you have with Harley Davidson. It seems like it has its own characteristic. It's its own they call this own ways of its own design, different from other motorcycles. I try riding different kinds of bikes, but nothing like a Harley. And plus the community, the family that we have, that also changed my life. To know more. I am getting to know more about the bike, like their new models, the engine that they have, the Evo before, which is replaced by the new design of Milwaukee 8. I kind of like that kind of series of you're going to wait and watch what's next, what's coming up, is it exciting. Those are the I mean basically, if you're going to boil it down to the bottom line, is it rides different than the other bikes. That's what makes Harley different for me.
That's cool. What about the other guests? What can you say? Like, what like you have been riding big bikes. Have you guys have ridden big bikes from different brands, and what makes Harley different for you? Who wants to answer this from all the other guests? Okay, Mr. Rolf. Okay, go ahead, Sir Rolf.
Yeah, yeah. Harley Davidson it gives you a completely different feeling. Like it has a soul. I don't know. It makes me feel different, and it's like I don't care what other people think. I feel like a king when I'm riding my Road King. It's like this is my feeling and my experience. And also, you asked about how Harley Davidson changed your life. Well, actually, I've been fitting my motorcycles into my life, my entire life. So, but friendship, the family, the feeling of belonging to something is great.
That's really nice to know, like belonging into something and then being part of the Harley Owners Group community. That's really nice. What about our other guests there? Can you answer this question also? Who wants to answer it? Or you want me to be? Oh, okay, Mr. Ron Hill, hold on. All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, I started out actually my first big touring bike. I'm 6'3", so I have to ride the
Oh my
big
God, you're
bikes.
so tall. 6'3".
Yes, I started out with a Kawasaki Vulcan 1500, and it was a motorcycle. And that's all I'm going to say. It was just a motorcycle. After that, my next one was a Harley Davidson Street Glide. From there, I've gone to the Harley Ultra Limited. And, it's like I said before, there's Harley Davidson and then there's everybody else. And when I had my Kawasaki, you'd pull up to a light and people would look at you, oh, that's a Harley wannabe. And it's exactly what it was. It was a wannabe because everybody strives to ride a Harley Davidson. And like I said, I don't see myself riding anything else. It's a status symbol. Like Tonyray said, you feel like a king. It's just a completely different feel. And you feel like you made it when you're on a Harley Davidson. You made it to the top. You're riding the best brand out there. Oh, speaking of the devil, there goes my neighbor on his. So, yeah, it's just a feeling of being at the top of the hill. Really, there is no other motorcycle like it out there. I ride a touring bike, and that's just who I am.
That's really nice to know. I mean, the Harley Davidson brand has been iconic for how many years right now, and it's really nice to know that you guys are loving this brand and you're also enjoying your motorcycle. Hold on, Sir Ron, you have actually a question. Okay, it seems like it's Irene that's always been asking questions. Okay, she has a question for you. What is the most memorable experience you had with your Harley? I think this question goes out to everyone. What is the most memorable experience you had with your Harley? Okay, since Sir Ron, this question is directed to you. You should answer it first, and then we'll proceed with the other guests after you answer this question.
That is actually a very easy one for me to answer because I think memorable event I had on a Harley Davidson was back in 2018. Harley Davidson had an event called the Ride Home, and it's where the four corners of the United States all met together in Milwaukee. And it was a 5-day journey. And it's funny they bring that up because I was just reading about that last night on some old notes that I had done. And the southeast corner of the country started at the Fort Lauderdale chapter's dealership. We took 5 days and slowly bounced between dealerships all the way up to Milwaukee. And we had, just to let you know, that when we started off that morning, our first stop went to the west coast of Florida. We had 100 motorcycles in that group that went to Fort Myers, Florida. From there, we picked up members from Fort Myers. Some of ours dropped off and theirs joined in. We just had a convoy of motorcycles for 5 days, riding from the southeast all the way up to Milwaukee. And then once we got up to Milwaukee at the Harley headquarters, oh my God, there was a week-long party up there. It was 2 weeks of just meeting people, riding with people from different chapters. And it's an event that I'm probably going to remember for the rest of my life. It was a lot of work. I was the assistant director at that time, so I had to organize all the stops, all the hotels, everything for everybody going up there. So it was a lot of work, but I would do it again tomorrow because actually they do it every 5 years. So in 2 more years, in 23, they'll have another one, and I'm looking forward to that. So that's the most cool thing I ever did.
Have you met the founders of Harley Davidson?
I actually did run into Willie.
Oh my gosh, amazing!
The Willie G. Davidson.
How was it? What was your feeling? Like,
He was very cool. He was actually at a table signing autographs, and he's a very busy man, and the respect for the man is unbelievable. So I went in there, got my little item autographed, and went on my way. We didn't talk a whole lot. There was a lot of people, and I out of respect for him, but he's still going strong. He's just such a memorable person.
That's really nice to know. Thank you so much for answering that question, Mr. Ron Hill. How about the other there? Okay, Sir Rolf, you raised your finger. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's most memorable. It's hard to tell actually because there are so many. Actually each ride is memorable, but on not my own Harley, but on a rental Harley Davidson, a brand new Road King. In 2008, I did the Route 66 from Chicago to Los Angeles in the United States, and that was very, very. I mean, that's a trip that everyone should do in their life, during their life, the lifetime, the Route 66. But also, it's not only about the Harley, it's also about your friends. And, most of my friends, actually, my best friends today are the people that I met during the late 70s on motorcycle meetings around, especially northern Norway. And they are still my friends. And we still go riding together. And we go touring, we've been to the Daytona Bike Week 2016, a bunch of friends, and we've been to Leesburg Bike Fest in Florida. I think that was a year before, 2 years before that. Of course, we don't ride our own Harleys, but we go and enjoy the aura and the enjoyment of these big rallies. Then there are, of course, the negative. Even if it's a very memorable, even if it's a negative experience. Riding home from the Hamburg Harley days in Germany, I had the heaviest rain, and it kept on all the way home. I've never been that soaked, on riding my bike, and that's of course memorable because afterwards I laugh at it, but when I was experiencing it wasn't that nice, of course, but it's still memorable. Yeah.
That's nice. What about you, Sir Bikram? what's your most memorable experience you had with your Harley? I think you can share about that also on your part. I wanna hear your side.
Yeah, sure. There've been too many actually. I'll go on talking about them, but my
Yeah.
most memorable experience with my Harley has been a ride I undertook with a riding buddy of mine, ex-army officer Colonel Vivek Bhatt and me. Two of us, we both ride Heritage Softail Classics, and we did a ride which a lot of bikers do in India, which is called the K2K ride. It's so we have Kashmir right up in the north and Kanyakumari at the southernmost tip of India. So my buddy and me, we started from New Delhi and we rode up to Kashmir, came down to Kanyakumari and back to Delhi. This was 10,000 kilometers in 3 weeks. Along the way, every night we met hogs at every place we were. We met them, had a drink with them, partied with them. We linked it up with the Southern Hog Rally, which was happening that time in Kochi, in the south.
Yeah.
We experienced the beauty of the country because we took different routes. We rode around the coast, around the mountains, around the central part. So we experienced different climate and temperature throughout that 3 weeks, including extreme heat, extreme cold, heavy rains. So those 3 weeks I think were the most memorable time spent on the Harley. We used to ride about 500-600 kilometers every day. Start early, get in by about lunchtime. Do a little local sightseeing, and then of course visit the dealership where there was one, meet the local hogs, party with them, interact with them, and then ride on. And with the big rally in between. It was absolutely amazing because we rode through the deserts, the coastal roads, the mountains, and just plains. It was a fantastic, memorable experience. Besides that, I've ridden on rented Harleys overseas, and I would say one of the most mind-blowing, beautiful rides I've done is in New Zealand. Uh,
Yeah.
when when I rode from Queenstown to a place called Glenorchy. It was a
Uh-huh.
short day ride, but the natural beauty was fantastic there. It's a place where a lot of the Rings, etc., have been shot, and I've ridden in other countries as well. But I would say these are my two most memorable experiences in India and overseas.
Then I guess we'll have to give you another memorable experience next year when you come to the Philippines,
Sure.
Cebu City.
Yes. Yes, sure. I'm looking forward to November 2021. Yes, I hope to be there.
Yeah. Have you ridden in the Philippines, like except for Mr. Tonyray, like Rolf and Ron? Have you? Ron. I don't think you've ridden in the Philippines. What about you, Rolf? Have you ridden in the Philippines?
Well, I haven't ridden myself, but I've been on the what you call the habal in the Philippines.
That's different. But hey, I wanna
No,
invite your chapters actually to ride here next year for the November 2021 event. We have the Cebu HD Days, that's the second Cebu HD Days, and the International Hog Meet. So invite all of you guys to come here. Yeah.
yeah,
Would absolutely love to go there.
I will try to incorporate that when I go to the Philippines. But it's like I'm a bit weary of the traffic, so I've been on the jeepneys and on the habal I've done. So that's
But don't ride the jeepney and the habal-habal. You just go directly to the mountains. We'll have you use our demo bike if you don't have your Harley
Yeah.
here. Guys, actually, we have like I think
Yeah.
1 minute left until we end the show. Maybe you guys wanna say hi to your friends, to the viewers out there. You wanna greet someone? Please go ahead. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'd just like to say thanks for inviting me on here. This is what it's all about, bringing chapters together from around the world. I'm all for that. My goal when I came on as director of the Fort Lauderdale chapter is to try to merge a lot of the chapters together. So I'd just like to say thanks to all of you for having me on here. It's been a real pleasure.
Do you have any message for your Hulk community or for the growing Hulk community in the world? What can you say?
My message would be just get out there and keep on riding. We are a riding group. Like I said, in fact I got a ride starting in about 2 hours to get out there and get started on
Oh
it.
my
Just
gosh, we woke
get
you
out there and keep riding.
up.
This is what it's all about. And it's how we meet people and meet new friends and create a bigger family.
Okay, thank you so much, Ron. Who wants to go next? Say your messages or last few messages for the whole community. Say hi to your fans, to the viewers. Okay, Sir Rolf, please go ahead.
Yeah, I will. I say thank you for the people that watch the show. I have my best buddy here, my riding bro, is in the background here, and uh, we are actually waiting for the ground to freeze enough to take our snowmobiles out because I guess we will start riding our bikes again in May next year. In May next year. So thank you for being on the inviting me on the show. It's been nice, and I'll make sure to stay in touch with the other guys there, on the show.
It's a pleasure having you. What about you, Sir Tonyray? What are your last words? You wanna say hi to the Hog community, to our hogs out there that's watching? Please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, and let me change this. This is not the last word because it's so dangerous if we say that. I would like to I would like to thank you guys from from the other side of the world, and with the technology that we have now, it's just like meeting like next door, and hope to see you next year on our Harley days, and we are going to ride and explore the Philippines. And to my co-hogs out there, fellow hogs, let's go out and ride because that's what our motorcycles meant for. And I would like also to special mention to the Sacred Heart Eagles riders. I think that's the where our CEO of the company, or the is a member also of that group, so Regan King. Thank you.
That's pretty cool. Okay, Sir Bikram Puri, you wanna say your words to your fans and your followers and your hog community all over there in India? Please go ahead.
No, it's thank you for hosting this show. Like I said, to Davidson of Cebu, it's wonderful to have met the brothers here from the US, from Sweden, from Philippines. And thanks to all my friends and all brothers and sisters who are watching the show. I got some messages. I haven't replied to all, but thank you, Anuj, Manish, various others. Some people are already excited about riding to about riding in Philippines next year at your event, and we'll try and I'll try and bunch across from India. And yeah, I mean, I truly believe this is the world's most powerful social network. That means it's not really just virtual. It's actually people caring for people on the ground across the world, and it's great to be a part of this family. Wherever I've gone, I've made it a point to reach out to local chapters, and I've met hogs across the world. And at the end of the day, when you sit down and have a drink, you realize it's that very special bond that we all share, even though some of us might have met for the first time. But the bond, the experiences are very, very strong. I always say that these bonds are forged in chrome and steel because they last a lifetime. And I have brothers and sisters across the world in many parts where I've been, and I certainly look forward to meeting the hogs in Philippines as well.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Words are not enough to express how we appreciate you guys, like being a part of the show, and we cannot wait to like ride with you guys. Hopefully, by the time you guys come here, I know how to ride. So don't forget, we have the International Hog Meet next year, November 2021. And then we also have the Cebu Harley Days. We'll have awesome party, awesome rides, good food, whatever you want. And also, next Saturday, we have another, it's our last episode of the year. So we will be having a Christmas party from all the different chapters around the world. So guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's morning in what do you call this, in Florida, and
Fort
then
Lauderdale, Florida.
yeah, yeah, and then it's afternoon in India, and then it's I think 1 p.m. already over there in Sweden, and of course here in the Philippines it's 8:05 p.m. So guys, thank you so much. See you again in the next episode. Say bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Bye. See you
Bye.
guys.
See ya.